everybody are using AWS ACE and a CRM tool and have to update the data in your CRM tool and ACE just to keep the data in sync? Are you trying to hunt down that salesperson to update the data into your ACE? Well, guess what? What if I told you that there's a tool for you, OppSync from Labra, which is a bi-directional sync integrated into your CRM tool? Yes, work where you want to work. No longer do you have to hunt down that salesperson to update the data. Did you know that there's 25 to 30% of opportunities are missed due to missing data or not inputted? Yes, that is correct. OppSync helps you with those opportunities and keeps the data in sync. Joining me today is Shri, co-founder and managing partner at IBEX Labs, along with Kyle, VP of Alliance and go-to-market leader at IBEX Labs. Please join me in welcoming Shri and Kyle to the show. Shri, Kyle, thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure.
Glad to be here, John.
Guys, this is awesome. I'm super excited to actually talk about, now wait a second, we're talking about IBEX Labs and Labra. Shri, what is IBEX, or who is IBEX, and how does it relate to Labra?
Sure. Yeah, just to some short introductions. I'm Sridhar. I'm a co-founder and managing partner at IBEX Labs. We are a AWS Advanced Tier consulting partner with multiple competencies, and we've been in the business for about a few years now, and we've been seeing some challenges over the years, which all the consulting partners face, whether it is either consulting or an ISP. And that's why we formed a sister company called Labra, which helps other cloud partners with address these challenges.
Kyle, if you want to do a quick introduction.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kyle Heisner. I am the VP of Go-to-Market and Alliances for IBEX and Labra, and excited to be here to tell you a little bit more about our platform and how we are helping with the co-sell and go-to-market strategy for ISVs and consulting partners.
Nice. Okay, so Shri, IBEX Labs, what do you guys do? How does it relate to AWS?
Yeah, so we're all in on AWS, and we typically work with startup and SMB customers who either are digital native business and they have been born in the cloud. So we help provide them guidance on what is the best way to consume the cloud. But we also help them with overall management of the cloud infrastructure. And one of our superpowers is making sure they're using cloud securely. And we also help them with we call it last mile, where we help our partners get audited to industry standard frameworks such as SOC 2, PCI High Trust, etc.
Now, you don't just help them go through the whole competency. You actually walk with them through the journey. You just don't identify, but you help.
Yeah, exactly. So we are a partner along the way. Some of our customers have been with us since they have not used cloud at all, and now they are like heavily using cloud. But we provide them with we help them with a guidance and a framework which helps them when they scale as well, right? So they don't need to re-architect anything, right? So we set the stage in a way that helps them scale for the future, but making sure they are well managed and there's also secure like right from the beginning.
Nice. Kyle, I want to jump to Labra because there's a bunch of topic that we need to talk about in this episode in the product OppSync. And I want you to give me your 30-second elevator pitch on what is OppSync.
OppSync is a no-code integrated platform that really lives in your CRM. So our motto and our priority was to create a platform to be able to sync ACE opportunities from your CRM without having to go to another platform or go, enter double the data entry or anything like that. So like I said, it's a SaaS application that we've built from the ground up using AWS services that, does that, uses the APIs from AWS to, link your CRM to ACE for opportunity and lead engagement.
Kyle, what is ACE for the audience?
ACE is the partner portal that is shared for, what I consider AWS deal registration. It's a way for AWS and the consulting partner or ISV to share an opportunity so that they know where the deal's at in the pipeline, what's the next steps, all of those type of things.
Shri, could you walk me through what a typical process would look like for a partner trying to register deals within ACE without having OppSync, right?
Yep.
What does an alliance person do? What does a salesperson do? And tell me the exact process that has to happen.
Yeah, so I mean, the reason we started building OppSync is because we face the problem as a partner ourselves, right? So every time, I mean, we work very closely with AWS, and to make that happen, whenever we start working with a new customer, we have to do a deal registration on ACE portal, saying that who the customer is, what their use case is, what is it the customer is trying to what is the outcome the customer is looking for, as well as what the next steps are, right? The next steps are very important. So typically what we do is we use a CRM, and we take the same data and enter it into ACE, right? So someone is doing this manually, and this thing has to be repeated for every deal that we start working on with AWS. Not only this process has to be done when a deal is registered, but any upcoming steps that we need to work with the ACE team on, like we have to provide those details as well. So all of this data, keeping it in sync has been a huge problem for Ibex Labs. And we spoke to multiple customers, and that's how we got started, on building out the solution.
Okay, let me walk you through a scenario that typically happens within a company that does not have Labra or utilizing OppSync. I am the alliance manager managing my AWS, my ACE, right? And putting all the thing. Now I have to also reach out to my sales guys for their deals. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is traditionally the method that has to happen. I'm the person, hey, salesperson, yo, can I get your deal? I got to put it. No, can you put it in there too? So put it into your CRM and then go and put it in double time into here. What do you mean I got to enter it twice? I got to go to another portal? Yeah, I need this so I can register my deals with AWS. And then they give us resources and they help us throughout the guidance. And, isn't that traditionally how, and then how much is lost in translation?
Absolutely, John. That is definitely the process that everybody faces and the problem that everybody faces, because it also goes from there. How do you update a deal? Now, every time a deal is updated, you have to go back and do all that talk again.
What's your update?
So, as a salesperson that I am, we always tell everybody, don't make me do another report, right? Don't make me do another. I just want to sell. So, we get told every day by our management team, Salesforce hygiene, HubSpot hygiene, go clean it up, keep your deals clean. Well, guess what? If you had OppSync, you don't have to worry about keeping your deals clean in ACE too. It's bi-directional sync, so it keeps you to keep everything aligned. So if you're doing it in one place, it happens everywhere.
All right, so help me. Go ahead, Shri.
Yeah, and to add to that, right, it's really important to make sure that the end user, right, in this case, the sales folks do not have to switch to another tool that they have to go to and enter data all over again and then keep them in sync, right? So that's why it's very important for us to make sure, like, we provide a solution which gives folks, like, work where you work, right? Like, you don't have to switch to some other tool and, carry on this activity all over again.
I imagine you're reducing the friction within the sales team of entering data, updating data, but you're also reducing the friction with the alliance lead who now has to track this, because without this type of tool, I'm going to throw out a number here where I've actually done some estimation. About 20 to 30% of deals are lost in between this process, right? Now imagine your company of doing it, and then that on top of that, the missed data, data not being updated throughout the entire process. Kyle, am I off on the numbers? Is it more or less?
No, I think you've got the numbers pretty much nailed. We have some tools internally that we track that type of data, and those are in the range that we see. We have seen up to 50% increase in opportunities, but that depends on the partner and how where they're at in their journey in the AWS marketplace, right? But the other thing that I wanted to add, John, that I think is really key is it distributes it down to the sales team now. So the Alliance team isn't having to do all that work. He can go do other things that his job function is really meant to be, instead of just being an ACE entry person, or
Data entry,
even
right?
having to go. I've had 2 customers that had 3 sales ops people just for ACE entry. Whenever they did this, they didn't get rid of those people. They just redistributed them to do the real job that they were hired to do. So, it's that, but it gives you the ability to get, all of the, if you're looking to get into ISV Accelerate, it gets you there faster. It accelerates your partner path because you're sharing opportunities. The other big thing is as a consulting partner, I want AWS and originated deals. So the only way I do that is to become more visible to the AWS teams, to where they go, you know what, that partner's really on top of it. I want to work with them more often. So they bring me deals instead of other people.
100% there, because I think here's what happens is that if your hygiene is clean from your CRM tool, and we're going to talk about the various integrations that's available for Labra and OppSync, but if your data is clean going out to ACE, then it's clean not only for the AWS folks to get the right folks involved, and rather than them spending more time trying to clean up the data, they can bring you more resources, because it goes hand in hand. You'll have more deals registered, and AWS will start actually bringing you into more deals because they can see that the data is clean, the value's there, and that you require additional help and services.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah, and it also helps with, like, as Alliance Lead, right? He or she, they would be doing a quarterly business review as well, right?
Yep.
It also helps, like, bring this data, right? Everyone has his data, which is like up to date, right? No one has to say, no, that's not correct, etc. Right? So the QBRs becomes much easier once you have this data cleaned up.
Yeah, our dashboards are absolutely phenomenal on giving the Alliance teams, sales leadership, real data to be able to make data-driven decisions about hiring, about what sub-segment or what segment am I working well with? What AWS reps have I done multiple deals with? All that data is in your dashboards, in your CRM now, to where you can really start doing some really dynamic things with the AWS teams and internally.
All right, let's clarify a couple of things. OppSync is really a SaaS tool, but it's integrated within your CRM, meaning you don't have to go to another interface to do the work. There's a plugin. Let's get there. How do you get this installed? How do you get this set up? And how can I quickly start using it?
Sri, I'll let you take that one.
Yep. So again, one of our main goal is we track how fast are we onboarding the customers, right? Typically, without OppSync, if a partner were to do ACE integration, it takes almost 6 months, etc. Right? So with OppSync, we have a calendar to the day when customer starts onboarding to the day when customers get onboarded, right? Most of the time, it typically takes around like 10 hours per customer, including the hours spent by, yep, exactly.
10 hours, wait, 6 months to 10 hours.
That's correct.
And John, the great
thing.
You
just closed the deal, sold.
John, the great thing about that is that only 2 hours is customer time. Out of the team. The rest is us doing it for them. So
nice. Go ahead, Sri.
Yeah, and most of the time it's spent on making sure everyone is aligned, right? The partner team is aligned, and AWS team is aligned to make sure it follows. There are some checks and balances that go in before we turn on the integration. So we had to prove to AWS that, hey, this is working as expected, right? That's called a UAT stage, right? So there are some things which take like an hour or two, but most of the time is spent on coordinating these activities. There's no implementation or nothing required. It literally takes, we could turn a customer around in 2 hours if all of these steps are lined up.
You guys have built an actual great relationship with the AWS teams for this integration. That's why it only takes about an hour or two with the AWS teams, because if folks know, an hour or two with AWS, they're a huge company and the teams are spread out. But now that you have proven yourself as a valued partner added for this, they're like, yeah, we see the complete value of it. We need to turn your stuff around quickly.
Yeah, and it's been a great partnership from the AWS ACE team. We worked with them very closely. We're the first partner to actually propose this integration, and there were people who were pretty surprised when we said like we're going to do a product out of this, right? So we had to go through like some additional toll gates just to make sure that everyone is aligned. But over the time, we have built great relationship with the AWS product team. So we not only work with them on the integration, but we act as a voice of partner, right? So what are the things that a partner is looking for? So we bring those data and also the feature requests and propose like, okay, this is how we can solve a customer pain point, right? So that collaborative relationship is helping really well.
And I think what really drives that is our heritage being a consulting partner and working in the cloud every day and doing this every day makes a difference because we know the pains from both sides, and we can go build the business case with those AWS teams of, hey, we know there's no API here, but we really should have an API. What do we have to do? How do we help you build that? And we have a great relationship with the ACE team, but we have a great relationship with the leadership team and the sales teams too, going out and promoting our product and bringing us opportunities with their partners, because their partners are trying to solve these tough obstacles, to get to the next partner level.
Kyle, I want to talk a little bit more about the installation and the integrations because, Sri, I know you have a new product that's being released. I'm going to drop the name here, but we're not talking about it. Yes, Flyout. Yes, we're going to talk about it in a couple of minutes before we wrap up the show. Kyle, what integrations to CRMs are capable for OppSync?
Yeah, so we have Salesforce, obviously, HubSpot, ConnectWise. On the roadmap, we've got others like Microsoft Dynamics, we've got Zoho, we've got Pipedrive. It really just depends on market share that people are pushing to us and what people are requesting. But we can move fairly quickly to be able to get those done if the deal is right.
Okay, Kyle, the integrations is basically a module that's installed, and we'll use Salesforce as an example because I actually have a couple of videos and demos that we walk through where it's actually another field that's available to you that says sync, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we actually install a Salesforce package or a HubSpot package that includes a bunch of workflows and some tabs and buttons that make the integration really work well to be what we really set out to be: work where you work. I know Sri said that earlier, but that's one of our core principles, is to allow people to never have to go somewhere else. To create an opportunity in ACE, you literally, on your opportunity in Salesforce, you click one button and it brings up the tabs, and it will not let you make a mistake and submit it without having all the information correct. So whenever you know that you submitted it, it's submitted and it's going to go through. So it's pretty fail-safe. I think that's one of the biggest differentiators of our platform is the work where you work, and all of the integration that we've done with the AWS ACE team to get things like SaaS records and update, request for more information, open those fields back up to where they can submit them in the system rather than having to go to ACE. Those are the things that we've collaborated well with them on and got into the product.
And Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a feature that we proposed, right?
Those both are two features that we proposed, and we were very instrumental in getting the APIs built to be able to get that done.
So not only did you develop it, but you're a customer because you found the problem that you're trying to resolve for yourself, and you're like, there are so many others going through it. Sri, my question about ACE. ACE has specific fields that need to be filled out, and by default, you guys have those automatically set up. What happens if ACE drops a new field for you? I mean, how do you guys update so that my CRM pulls those in right away and I can implement them?
Yeah, so we are working closely with the AWS ACE team. So we get a roadmap of like what is changing with ACE itself, and since we have such a close relationship, we actually test with them our package, and so we update when AWS updates. So we're always on par with AWS. So customer would not even know. It would show up as a new field, obviously with instructions on what that means and how to properly use it. But we are making sure we're on parity with the AWS ACE team.
Yeah, hot fixes, John, we get about a week notice before they push them to market. On roadmap issues, we get at least a month to test prior to them releasing to make sure that we're on release with them.
Kyle, what if I don't want to sync my data or this field or this record with ACE? Do I have the opportunity to isolate specific deals?
Absolutely. This is a pick when you want to submit. So, not every deal is ready to be submitted. Not every deal goes to AWS. So you don't want to share everything, right? So this is specifically whenever I, as the salesperson or the sales manager, want to submit that to ACE, I literally click one button, the fields come up, you hit save, and it submits it to ACE. Within about 30 seconds, you get back a success that it's been sent and it's been received by them. And then the 72-hour window for AWS to accept that, as an opportunity or request more information starts from that point.
If Shri, if they do accept that, I recall you saying it's bi-directional. If they accept it, does it come back to my CRM and say success or accepted, or how does that information come back to me?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So if once AWS updates it, in some cases they accept it and they would request more info. AWS would request more information, right? And that notes would show up automatically in your CRM saying that, hey, more information is requested. So that's where the next steps fields come into picture, right? So these are the next steps from AWS, from the partner, right? So everything is in sync. Like someone makes an update, it shows up on the other end, So it's as simple as that.
Yeah, just to give you an example, John, I just closed out a deal on our IBEX Lab site, and we used the tool ourselves. So I updated, we closed out a deal as closed launch in AWS. That means you've won, right? That's their terminology. So we closed launched the deal, and it sent it over to ACE. About 2 hours later, I got back an email from the account manager saying, hey, thanks for closing that deal out in ACE, and they got notified because we closed it out.
Oh my God, the actual data or the ACE hygiene is critical for the AWS side because they're working hand in hand with the Alliance. And then the Alliance person has to go to the salesperson saying, hey, listen, was this closed? And it's a lot of communication back and forth. But work where you work and allowing them to work within one tool without having to go back. They're not missing information, data. You guys are the only tool that I know that does this, by the way, because I have been on the Alliance side. I've been on the sales side. And it was always a back and forth. And I'm so surprised nobody else has developed this. So I'm glad it's available.
Yep.
Yeah, we are too. But it's been I've been right where you are. I've been in alliances for 10 plus years in the cloud, and this ACE piece has always been a thorn in the side. You have to do it to be able to get your benefits. Think of a consulting partner. If they don't submit, they lose 5 points instantly. The margins in cloud are low enough. We don't need, we need every piece we can. So let's give them the tools to be able to accelerate and get the cash flow that they've deserved.
All right, Shri, I have to ask you, what is the security model around this? Because now you're passing data back and forth for not only between the CRM, but now I have to communicate with the ACE. So the data is residing in both, and you're doing communication behind the scenes.
Yeah. So as you're aware, IBEX Labs, we're a security and MSSP partner, right? We take security very seriously, and we help customers go through the same challenges, right? With their applications as well. So we are SOC 2 certified. That is one of the first things we did when we launched. We were SOC 2 certified from the beginning. Since we are also the first partner to do this as a product, we also had to go through AWS legal and security teams as well and get their approval. We got a lot of paperwork to submit to the AWS security team, and it was a lot of paperwork, by the way. But then when we sent all the information that we had, we got no questions back, we were
Don, that I can tell you from a sales perspective, everybody on SaaS, the SaaS side of the business, they always send out security questionnaires and everything like that. The work that Sri and the team did to early and, in the process has really helped the sales side a lot of our business, because whenever I give them a SOC 2, I get them under non-disclosure and we give them our SOC 2 and we answer their security questions. We haven't had one person come back yet and say, nope, this is something we can't do. They actually, the last 2 customers we won actually said, you guys are the most prepared SaaS company I've ever dealt with.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's important, right? This is very important information and it has to be secure, right? So it's very core to how we built
Yep.
our product.
And John, this kind of leads into, what a webinar that we've got coming up here before long about the whole partner path journey. What we consider ourselves is helping partners through accelerate the partner path, all the way from the readiness piece of making sure your infrastructure is built correctly. Did you build it in an environment that is recommended and architecturally sound? Do you want to move to control tower because it helps you scale faster? All that readiness piece, the SOC 2 piece that Sri meant. Getting your foundational technology review done before you can list the product. We do all of that for our partners. So if you come to Labra as an early SaaS vendor going to the AWS marketplace, we're going to accelerate your process greatly and get you to the next partner level a lot faster than anyone else.
I think this is a great time and a great segue into Flyout that should be releasing very, very shortly, if it hasn't already by the time this drops. But before we get to that, I want to let everybody know we have an awesome customer case study coming up in our next podcast to actually talk about how they're utilizing OppSync and Labra and the benefits of it. Now, I'm not going to drop any names just yet. I'm going to keep you on the hook. But Sri, Flyout, what is it?
So it's so Labra is a platform, and OppSync is the first vertical that has been released, right? So and we have a vision on how the cloud commerce is evolving. So that's why we're going vertical by vertical. And Flyout addresses the next vertical, which touches the cloud marketplaces, right? So you're a partner, you have to set up your ACE integration first, to be successful as a partner. But once you've done that, you need to be able to list and provide your solutions on the AWS marketplace, right? So that is the next offering that we are coming to market shortly with, which helps the partners through the whole journey of a cloud marketplace, and in this case, AWS.
Is there any more information you can give on Flyout? I know we haven't released it yet. It is not official, but by the time this comes out, I want to get people a little excited about it. If I wanted to get engaged, or what's the value behind Flyout for me as a customer or a partner?
Yeah, I think it really helps the journey from your listing all the way through to the analytics of your listing, knowing who bought. Again, it's all done in your CRM. You never leave to go to another platform. But our ultimate goal is to really solve a lot of the problems that are out there, John, with most deals are sold in a three-prong approach, right? There's a cloud, a hyperscaler involved, there's a cloud consulting company involved, and multiple ISVs. Today, everything is so single-threaded, it's every deal. The platform that Sri and Jay have envisioned is to consolidate that to where it makes an easier buying cycle for the end user, but also collaborates everything into one platform for the consulting partner, the ISV, and the hyperscaler all in the same deal. So it all ties back to ACE, so it all kind of ties together to where if you close a deal, it automatically closes the deal in ACE for you, so you don't have to go do any work. So it really simplifies that whole co-selling and what we call, the cloud commerce and fulfillment platform.
Sri, I want to jump in there. Now, it's going to be integrated into CRM as well. Man, I'm noticing a theme here, like work where you work. I mean, you're really taking away all the friction that's kind of everybody has to go back and forth between a different APM, different portal, jumping in there. Does this apply to not only you can see where you're selling, how you're selling, and kind of really dive into it, but does it apply to like private offers and really subscriptions for it, or?
Yeah, I mean, everything, right? So our goal is how do you make this revenue cycle faster, right? So there's a lot of problems along the way. We're coming with a vertical-based approach. Any problems that we're seeing, our plan is to solve it, right? So like you mentioned, CPPO, right? That's another great problem that really has not been solved yet, right? Renewals is another problem that has not been solved yet.
Oh, yeah, there's one that's hard to track. I mean, how do you
There's
track
one-
renewal? You got to go in there like, oh crap, I missed this a month ago. Now, like what's happening? That's a lost deal.
But
Yeah,
guess what? Guess what? Your CRM has a way to track that stuff. So why not, now that we're engaging the CRM, you can set a task and it will come up 12 months before. You can look at all the close dates in the dashboards and see, hey, these are coming up for renewal this month, and just start working them. So
yeah, and there's an ACE opportunity for it as well. So don't forget that part.
I think there's a huge opportunity here. I gotta let you guys know a little secret. I use HubSpot and I am on the marketplace, so I have some ideas. We might have to talk offline. That's
John, I'll be glad to give you, you saw the demo, but we'll be glad to hook you up and get you onboarded. So
Oh, that sounds really good. But enough about me. Guys, the product OppSync is solving a huge amount of friction and problems between not only your sales and your alliance, but also AWS. I see the value in this. I see where you guys are going, and I'm hoping that we can elevate the awareness of what you're trying to achieve and how well you're achieving it in a quick and painless fashion. Going from 6 months to 10 hours, really 2, but going to that amount of time. Wait, actually, I just thought of a question. What about all the data I already have in my CRM? Can you sync that existing stuff to, or is that all new data?
It's new data, but existing data can be synced provided the right data is added, right? So ACE fields change, for example, right? So as long as the data is up to date, yeah, it can be synced.
Okay, so there's a little bit of hygiene to go back and clean up some of those old things, but the value is there going forward. But you guys will help, kind of clean up, kind of go through those, make sure the stuff are done. It's not, hey, you got to go do this work. It's no, let's get this done. Let's get this cleaned up, and you'll see the value right away.
Yep. Right.
Wow, that's freaking amazing to me on what it's going to be and available. Oh, also everybody take note that you guys will be out. You are a sponsor for reInvent. You're going to be out there. We're going to have some awesome conversations, some live streams happening. You have to come over to the hospitality suite. We'll get you on camera. We'll do a little things. I think there's a challenge that we're trying to accomplish, but I'm not let you in on that yet.
That sounds great. Yeah, we're really excited about reInvent. This is going to be a big year for Labra at reInvent. So really excited. It's hard to actually not share as much as I want to share about where we're going. But we'll continue to do these and share more as we go.
Shri, real quick, at reInvent, we are having live stream. If there's stuff you want to share, I'll get you down on that slot. You come in there and you can talk all about it. You can drop some cool stuff live to everybody, but we're also going to talk about the event that's happening and how it relates to what's trying to be accomplished, because there always is a partner path that happens or a partner experience at reInvent, and this will be great for all the partners and customers trying to, input their data.
Yep. Looking forward, John.
Awesome. Guys, I really appreciate it. This has been pretty cool, and I appreciate the education on OppSync and Flyout. More information to come on Flyout. We do have a podcast scheduled along with a customer case study, and I'm not dropping any information. Kyle, anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
No, just feel free to reach out at labra.io or Kyle at labra.io, and we'll be glad to show you the product, give you a demo, and get you set up. We love to solve tough problems for our customers, so look forward to talking to you all.
Yeah. How about you, Shri? Anything you'd like to leave the audience?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big journey. So we are in like the early stages. Like this whole problem is evolving as well. Like So we are here for the long run and to solve the customer problems as this cloud commerce space evolves. So looking forward for the collaboration with our partners as well as our customers.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm looking to the future collaboration with you as well. Kyle, Sri, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much. You're outstanding. I really love working with you.
Thank you. This has been a fun conversation, very informative. I enjoyed it so much. Everybody, my name's John Myer. I've been your host, Kyle and Sri from Ibex Lab, Labyrinth, OppSync, and Flyout's coming its way. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notify because guess what? We're out of here.
Thank you.